Saturday is North America Cup night at Woodbine, Mohawk Park. Race 11 on a 13 race card with plenty of exotic wagering options. There's a 10% rebate on DRF bets and free harness side PPs we're offering up. I brought along Jay Bergman to talk about the North America Cup. How you doing, Jay?
Doing great, Derick.
We have a 10-horse field. 9 of them will be on the gate. 1 of them will be in the second tier. It's a strong field, but clearly there's a leader in this field, Jay.
There's no question about Tall Dark Stranger's presence above the rest of this class to get to this point. But, you know, one thing is good, at least for those having optimism for a long shot, is, you know, Tall Dark Stranger's had a couple of moments in the last month or so that haven't been exceptional. He's had a few that have been incredible, but, you know, it's always those other side that makes you think, is he vulnerable?
Well, we're going to take a look at one of those moments that maybe wasn't so exceptional. It's the first elimination from last week, and Tall Dark Stranger is here on the lead, and there's going to be comers from all ends, but he digs down deep like a great horse should.
I think that's been the model of his entire career, essentially, is that when the going gets tough, he just seems to want to win more than other horses. And, you know, as you can see the picture right now, I mean, there are horses all around him, and you would think someone had a chance to get by him, but nobody eventually did.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's definitely game, definitely shows some guts there. We also had another elimination. That one was won by Captain Kirk, and it was a really impressive effort for him to close into Allywag Hanover, who kind of had things his own way.
Well, I think it showed a little bit of Allywag Hanover's weaknesses, and certainly Captain Kirk's strengths. And Captain Kirk has finished his mile strongly this year, and you know he actually pulled a pocket on Tall Dark Stranger in the cane pace, which was a bad move at that point. But you know he's been very, very solid in the last month and a half.
I think what we're learning about Allywag Hanover as we see him race over and over again is that he's a good horse. He's not a great horse. And even so, he takes a lot of money every week. So he's a good horse to perhaps bet against.
You know, I have a different view of him. I mean, I speak with the trainer, Brett Pelling, quite often. And, you know, he was not in favor of last week's 25 and change first quarter. It was sort of like he thought the horse could win the race if he didn't do anything in the early stages and just closed. And he thought some of the horse's best races this year have come from off the pace. As a matter of fact, his first 2 victories with Dave Miller driving him, he was racing strictly from off the pace. He thinks he gets a little compromised when he gets hard used early, and he's a horse that kind of needs his trip. I mean, the outside post is probably not going to help him here.
Well, if you're looking at it from that perspective, a horse that might be interesting here is Tattoo Artist, who clearly has early speed. I mean, driver Bob McClure has basically come out and said he's going to use it in this spot. If Allywag Hanover's not going to press him early, Tattoo Artist could go right to the front, and Tall Dark Stranger could be making his move, and we could be looking at a lineup between those two.
Well, I see something else. I mean, you know, you made a mention about the horse from the second tier, and you know, I think that there's a situation developing. I think the post 1 and 2 in this race don't look to have that much early speed, and I think if the outside, as you said, Tattoo Artist leaves, I mean, I could see Captain Barbosa leaving. I could see Allywag Hanover leaving, not necessarily leaving to get the lead, but leaving to get position, because I think the 1 and the 2 horses, they're not going to press out of there in 25 seconds, where a Tattoo Artist is probably going to have to press out in 25 seconds if he's going to be able to get command. I can also see Captain Midnight also wanting to sort of get ahead of Tall Dark Stranger. It's one of those things where you don't want to be behind him, because once he clears the lead, you know, you're probably ending up first over or not wanting to pull on him. So there's a lot of evidence here that there's going to be a lot of action in the early stages. And I kind of think that, you know, Tall Dark Stranger is going to have to be pressing out early, but I think there'll be movement and there'll be seats for horses who want to leave from the outside.
What do you make of a horse like Captain Midnight? It seems like he's been teasing us that he could be a good horse, but he really hasn't gotten over the hump yet.
Well, I think he's certainly very useful. I think, you know, I think the fact that Tony Alagna has Captain Kirk inside and Tall Dark and Captain Midnight on the outside of Tall Dark Stranger, I think, you know, gives him some ability there. You know, Captain Kirk could leave, let Captain Midnight in front of him. Captain Kirk could move again. I mean, Captain Kirk, you know, we saw him in the Meadowlands Pace eliminations with blast out speed. So, I mean, I think that especially 3-hole, Captain Midnight, the 5-hole, I got to think both of those horses are looking to out sprint Tall Dark Stranger at the start and set up themselves with good early position. I mean, that seems to be the MO here, is that, you know, Tall Dark Stranger is going to be on the lead probably before the half-mile pole. If you're looking for a big part of the, you know, $1 million purse, you certainly want to be in the hunt in the early stages.
I'm of the opinion here that Tall Dark Stranger is just simply better than these horses. I mean, I don't know how much better, but he's certainly, in my opinion, better. He doesn't seem to want to lose. I don't think we saw his best last week. I think we'll see a better horse this week. He's definitely my horse that I'm picking on top here. I do like Tattoo Artist second. I think he should be in good shape. Where are you looking at here?
I'm on the same bandwagon, you know, only in the sense that, you know, when they go slow in eliminations, and when I say slow, 55, 56 and a half, that's relatively slow in this day and age. When they pick it up to 53 and a half and 120 to 3/4, you start seeing the separation. And I certainly think that that's the kind of power that Tall Dark Stranger has, that he's got no problem getting to the half and 53 and 3/4 and 20. And I think that's when the other ones start getting a little winded. And I think a lot of them will get winded here. I don't, you know, I think since Pappy Rob Hanover's early retirement, you know, I think Tall Dark Stranger, pound for pound, is the best horse. But, you know, I mean, I think Tattoo Artist, I give him some credit. I also give Captain Kirk some credit as a horse that, you know, if he had minded his business and stayed behind Tall Dark Stranger in the cane, I think he would have been second there. And he's already shown the ability to beat some of these other horses. So, I mean, I think he's a legitimate horse too. Tattoo Artist, I mean, I know he was struggling for room last week, and, you know, you try to give excuses. It's still a tall order to see, can he step up and, you know, get to this top of this class. I don't think he has that class at this point.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm convinced Tattoo Artist could win the race, but I'm convinced he could, you know, be in the exotic somewhere. I think he'll be a reasonable price. So I thought he was a good horse to include rather than going with a Cold Nomer over Captain Kirk or Captain Midnight, who are clearly going to be lower on the odds board here. $1 million in race 11 on the line. We have a 10% rebate on DRF bets on exotic wagers. If you want to try the exacta, the trifecta, maybe a pick five. There's 2 pick fives on the card. Jay, anything else on the 13 race card that you're looking forward to? Maybe a standout pick?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's, every year Tony Alagna comes with a 2-year-old to Canada, and, you know, he doesn't really need a whole lot of preparation to get these things motivated for a first time out, 150 or 150 some mile. Pirate Hanover, I liked the horse before I talked to Doug McNair yesterday, and after I talked to Doug McNair, I liked the horse even more because, you know, he sort of indicated his first mile was a 53 and change mile, 54 last half, was sort of a qualifier for the horse. I kind of think that horse is ready to go in 50 right now. He's in against an undefeated horse in Dean P. Hanover in the 7th race, and I think because of that, you know, he might be a reasonable value second choice. And like I said, Tony Alagna has been very, very good bringing out 2-year-olds. Their first starts, they can go in 51, they can go in 50. This horse is ready to go, and I think you'll see it on Saturday night.
That's in the 7th race, Nasagawea, and that also starts the All Stakes Pick 5. So maybe we can hook up that horse with Tall Dark Stranger and get some decent prices in between. Thank you very much for joining me, Jay. I hope you have a great night on North America Cup night.
You too, Derek.